everybody, happy Thursday. I hope you're having a great week. For those of you that are new, my name is Susan from Susan Barnes Editing. I am a fiction freelance editor, and today we're going to be talking about how to make your book reviews work for you. Book reviews are the lifeblood of publishing. You want more reviews on your books because then in the algorithms, it'll push your books up higher and they'll get to be seen more, and hopefully that'll mean more sales, more readers, more reviews, and the cycle keeps going. Authors are always encouraging readers to leave reviews. It helps. That's something that you should be doing even as an author. I hope you're doing that to support your favorite authors as well. But the big question that always comes up is, do you read your reviews? So you have, 100, 200, 300, however many reviews on your books, but you've probably never looked at them. And I do hear this recommendation a lot, which is get a lot of reviews, but don't look at them because it can have a negative effect, either on your mental health or on your writing. So you don't want to take in that negative feedback too often. You also don't want to take in popular opinions that you may not agree with as an author. Your writing needs to be for you first and foremost. So you don't want to change your story, your plot, your writing just because you saw a negative review or even a good review. So yes, while there is a time to leave reviews aside, not take a look at them, you don't want to be unduly influenced when you're writing or planning or when that will affect you the most. You also don't want to leave them completely off the table. These reviews are direct feedback, direct access to your market, to exactly what they want, what they need, what they're asking for. And you want to make sure you're able to use that to push your publishing career, your writing even further and better, to be able to sell more books and keep going for years to come. So you want to make your book reviews work for you. So the first thing you need to figure out is, can you look at those reviews or do you need someone else to do it? I can tell you that I myself don't love negative reviews. I don't love looking at them, and they tend to stick in my brain at the worst times, and I'm sure a lot of you are like that as well. So personally, if I were the one doing this, I would either have a family member, a beta reader, a friend, or hire somebody to do this for me. You might be on the other side of that, where if it's been a long enough time, or maybe you're in that business mindset, you are able to take a look at these reviews, take a step back a little bit more objectively, and see what they have to say. Neither way is wrong. You just want to make sure you know yourself well enough to make that determination, because obviously you want to do this in a way that's helpful to your career, but is also supportive of your mental health and your mindset. The second step is figuring out your goals. What do you want to get out of looking at these reviews? Before you've even opened up Amazon, Barnes & Noble, whatever you're going to look at, what are you looking for? And you want to be specific. This is with any goals that you're making for your writing career or your life. What are you thinking is going to be most helpful? What have you been most worried about? What with that last book series was, a little bit questionable for you? Anything like that, so that you can have in mind, okay, did my, family band of characters actually bring the excitement and warmth to the readers that I wanted it to? Or is the heat level high enough? Did my magic system make sense? Did people really love it, or was there confusion? Were there concerns about pricing? Were there any surprises, good or bad? There's always going to be some things that people will find in reviews that may not be in your goals that could be helpful. That's great, but you want to have 3 to 4 goals when you're diving in, or when you're having someone else dive in, to really look for that information to see what feedback you can get from that and what that's going to mean to you. So have them be concrete, have it be something that you can then make an educated decision on later down the road. So then the third step is gathering all that information. The first and foremost thing I want to mention during this process is, this should not be something that you're doing when you're writing a first draft, or if you can help it, when you're writing at all, because any feedback that you're going to receive is obviously going to influence you one way or another. The best time to do this is when you're planning a new series, or when you're planning a change in your writing or in your career. Maybe you're switching up genres, maybe you're doing something a little bit different. Again, new series, something like that, where you can sort of objectively, even before you've started plotting, you can see, oh, well, people loved that I had the bad boy character, or people loved that my magic system really came out like this. People loved that I had really fast pacing, that I had action up front, everything like that. Things that you can keep in mind, that then while you're planning your next book or your next series, you can have that at the forefront to make sure if it's something that you agree with, if it's something that you want to do, you can have that in your writing, and then you can be happy with your book as well as appealing to your readers on a more intimate and in-depth level. But do not do that during your first draft. It's going to throw you all out of whack. It may conflict with your plans. And again, jumping back to what I said earlier, first and foremost, you are writing this book for you, and then obviously to sell and have readers and have fans. So if you are looking to gather this information, you want to look at previous books. If you have previous books out there, you also want to look at current comps. So books that are similar to yours or similar to the books that you're going to be writing, you can take a look at what the reviews say on those as well. This is important both for new authors, so if you don't have any backlist to look at, or current authors. You may have a backlist, but maybe you're looking at a book that's a year or two old. While that feedback is still genuine and is still helpful because it's something that you can keep in mind because it's specific for your writing, you also want more current feedback as well, a book that has come out more recently so you know where the market is and what they're expecting, what they're excited about right in this moment, not a year ago. So you want to sort of have a little bit of both. And you do, whichever book you look at, or whatever books, I would recommend having a couple you look at, you definitely want to make sure they have a good amount of reviews. I would say at least, 50 to 100, if not more. Now, you don't want to be looking at the books that have 13,000 reviews. Looking at the reviews for Hunger Games probably isn't going to help you much, even if you're writing a young adult post-apocalyptic novel. You want something that's a little bit more in line with where you're at or where you're hoping to be, but you want to make sure it has enough reviews that you're able to get commonalities, that you're able to get a general sense of what the group as a whole is thinking. If it only has 5 or 10 reviews, it's a very limited sample, and that's something that you can still keep in mind, but you don't necessarily want to drive your career because that's only 5 or 10 people. You're looking at appealing to the whole of the market that you're going for. So again, getting enough reviews that you're getting commonalities and you can sort of have a sample feel for all of those questions that you've been asking above, targeting towards, again, those goals that you want to find out. Is my pricing right? Is my book fast-paced enough? Did they like these characters? Is it high enough heat? Anything of that sort. Finally, take all of this information and then evaluate. So put it towards the goal questions that you have and figure out if you need to make a change, if you want to stay where you are, if you need more information, and sort of evaluate how you're going to move forward now that you have this very direct information from your market. This is gold information directly from the buyer, but you want to keep in mind it's something that you want to look at, again, as a whole, making sure you have a big enough sample size, but also with a grain of salt. These reviews, these people, they are your buyers. They are the people that you want to appeal to the most, but they aren't necessarily experts in the field, people that you want to take direct advice from. So you want to make sure you're taking the information, maybe talking it through with a book coach and editor, beta readers, other authors, making sure that while it's good information, you're also applying it correctly and that it makes sense to be able to push your career even farther. So that's how you really make reviews work for you. You want to take a step back, you want to look at them objectively, you want to have direct goals to make sure you know what you're trying to get out of this experience. Obviously, looking through all that information, trying to gather it together, making sure you have enough information, enough reviews to really get a wide view, evaluate it, and then schedule the next time you're going to do this. The market is an ever-changing thing, so you want to make sure you're staying on top of not only what's working now, but what you think is coming, what's going to work in the future, what's working for other people's books, and be able to pivot for what's right for you. You want to make sure you're doing what stays true to your novels, but also answers the need of the market as well, and maintain that balance. Hopefully this has been helpful. If you have any questions about reviews, how to look at them, what your goal question should be, anything like that, I would love to hear from you. If you have a moment, like, comment, subscribe below. It really helps the channel. And until next week, keep writing.